Welcome back to From the Pages of WWF Program Magazine, volume number 150 from 1987. The program opens by spotlighting the Million Dollar Man, Ted DiBiase, a wrestler who flaunts wealth as a form of domination. DiBiase throws money to the crowd as if it were worthless, not as an act of generosity, but as an insult. He humiliates opponents and fans alike, using his fortune to place himself above everyone else while Virgil stands at his side. His message is clear: money makes the rules. This behavior has angered wrestlers throughout the World Wrestling Federation. Junkyard Dog says there's nothing worse than a man who laughs at poor people and wants to show DiBiase what someone who grew up poor can do to him in the ring. Tito Santana says DiBiase debases people and that any man who does that deserves a beating. Brutus the Barber Beefcake promises to clip more than hair, and Billy Jack Haynes questions whether DiBiase can truly back up his talk inside the ring. DiBiase responds without hesitation, saying he has the money to make people grovel on the sidewalk and the power to make opponents grovel on the mat, declaring himself a $1 million wrestler. The program then turns its attention to Jake the Snake Roberts and his pursuit of the WWF Intercontinental Championship held by the Honky Tonk Man. Jake is framed through the imagery of his python Damien, with an explanation of how pythons kill by wrapping their coils around their victims and squeezing until there is no escape. Jake's approach in the ring is compared directly to the snake's patience. He waits, he watches, he lets his opponent make the mistake. The Honky Tonk Man is portrayed as slippery and difficult to catch, aided by his manager Jimmy Mouth of the South Heart. Honky is dangerous when cornered, capable of snapping back just when it seems he is finished. Jake says he is not worried. Snakes are patient, and sooner or later the victim always makes a false move. What Jake wants, he makes clear, is the Intercontinental Championship. A major feature follows on Sensational Sherri, who has captured the WWF Women's Championship by defeating the Fabulous Moolah. The match is described as a fierce physical battle that repeatedly spills out of the ring. Sherri attacks aggressively, bending and breaking the rules, while Moolah answers with experience and brutality. Moolah throws Sherri to the floor multiple times and appears ready to finish her, but Sherri survives the punishment. In a sudden turn, Sherri hooks Moolah's leg and scores the pinfall. The referee counts 3, ending Moolah's long reign and crowning Sensational Sherri as the new champion. The program then focuses on One Man Gang, presented as a massive, destructive force managed by Slick. One Man Gang is portrayed as a monster whose sole objective is the WWF World Championship held by Hulk Hogan. Slick makes it clear that the plan is simple: destroy everyone put in front of One Man Gang until only Hogan remains. One Man Gang is described as overwhelming in size, power, and aggression, with surprising speed for a man of his bulk. Hulk Hogan is asked about the threat posed by One Man Gang. Unlike his usual fiery responses, Hogan is unusually quiet. When asked what his plan is, Hogan answers with only 2 words: war, brother. Another feature spotlights Ron Bass, presented as an outlaw of the wrestling ring. Bass is compared to the lawless figures of the Old West, a man who makes his own rules and sneers at sportsmanship. Bass uses any weapon he can, including his bullwhip, Miss Betsy, whenever he can get away with it. He is described as tricky, tough, and dangerous, especially when referees are not looking. Ron Bass targets Tito Santana, mocking him and insulting his heritage. Santana hears Bass's comments, and those close to him say his temper is rising. Bass prides himself on being an outlaw, but by provoking Santana, he may be turning the ring into his own version of the OK Corral. The program then presents Race for the Belts, outlining the WWF Championship landscape. Hulk Hogan is shown as WWF World Champion, facing challenges from One Man Gang, Kamala, and Killer Khan. Sensational Sherri is recognized as the new WWF Women's Champion. The Honky Tonk Man remains Intercontinental Champion, with challengers including Jake the Snake Roberts, Junkyard Dog, Tito Santana, and Billy Jack Haynes. The Hart Foundation stands atop the tag team division, with threats from the British Bulldogs, the Rougeau Brothers, and the Killer Bees. Short update sections follow. Nikolai Volkov is noted as unusually quiet. Killer Khan and Mr. Fuji unveil a mysterious green substance used to blind opponents temporarily. Bam Bam Bigelow is said to be eager to face the largest competitors in the WWF. Cowboy Bob Orton and Don Morocco are highlighted as former partners now headed toward violent confrontations. The program is filled with advertisements for WWF merchandise, including Coliseum video releases, action figures, Ben M's thumb wrestlers, and Hulkamania workout equipment, promoting the WWF brand beyond the ring. The issue closes with a full-page image of Ron Bass, reinforcing his outlaw persona as the program comes to an end. See you next time. Farewell from the Empire State.